Okay, so in today's video, we got to talk about Stephen A. Smith, man. It's looking like people are calling for Stephen A. Smith to get canceled. And I want to break this thing down for you guys to keep you guys updated with everything and what's going on with Stephen A. Smith, because now he's trying to clean up his image even shortly after the backlash. As you guys can see, he put his family on his YouTube show. People was like, yo, the typical move when somebody is facing backlash, they want to start showing their kids and their family immediately after getting called out. And when people is trying to cancel somebody, this is like the first thing that they go to. So as you guys can see, Stephen A. Smith had his daughter and his nephew on his YouTube channel trying to save face and clean up his image for what's going on right now, man. So yeah, guys, everywhere I see on social media, people is calling for Stephen A. Smith to get canceled and to get fired by ESPN, man. And this thing is getting deep because, it involves something political. And, Stephen A. Smith, he wanted to create this other separate show on Sirius XM, Straight Shooter with Stephen A. Smith. That's where he taps more into his political stuff and political arguments and just shows more of his political side. And people are starting to see Stephen A. Smith for exactly what he is.
Stephen A. Smith isn't a political analyst. Stephen A. Smith is a trained SEAL who's only good at two things: barking at black personalities in the media and clapping for his handlers. And I'll give you three things about it. Thing number one: Stephen A. Smith and his forehead took to his podcast to criticize Jasmine Crockett for her work defending Black America against Donald Trump and his fascist administration.
So like I said, guys, let's break this thing down and let's get right into today's video. So if you can, be sure to hit that thumbs up. That really does help support my YouTube channel, and I really do appreciate that, guys. So let's start from the beginning. So Jasmine Crockett said some things about Donald Trump, and this is what Jasmine Crockett said about Donald Trump, and this is why Stephen A. Smith responded to her, calling her out. Let's check out this clip right here.
Stop falling for the okie doke. Stop believing the lies that they are putting out there and the terrible racist tropes that they are constantly using to rile people up. It is time to recognize that while you thought the enemy was the immigrant, or you thought the enemy was the trans person, or you thought that the enemy was the black folk, or you thought the enemy were the women, when the reality is that the only person that is harming you right now, if you are struggling to make sure that you can pay your bills, if you're struggling to feed your family, if you are struggling to find a job, if you are struggling to keep your business open, or if you are a farmer, while we currently have record level bankruptcies by farmers, it is not any of those people on the list. It is the old white Nepo baby that is sitting in the White House that is causing all the destruction, pain, and problems that you are enduring.
So that's what Jasmine Crockett said about Donald Trump, right? And that shouldn't surprise anybody because of the side that she's on politically. But here comes Stephen A. Smith. He wants to pump his chest out and basically defend Trump and go on his podcast show, Straight Shooter with Stephen A., and pretty much call out Jasmine Crockett, saying that she's saying street rhetoric and she's basically just doing nothing with her words. And it's just like, yo, why is this guy going so hard? So let's check out this clip right here and I'll follow up with some more commentary. Here's a clip right here.
How Jasmine Crockett chooses to express herself, I'm like, is that going to help your district in Texas? Aren't you there to find a way to get stuff done as opposed to just being an impediment to what Trump wants? How much work goes into that? I'm just going to go off about Trump, cuss him out every chance I get, say the most derogatory, incendiary things imaginable, and that's my day's work. That ain't work. Work is saying, that's the man in power. I know what his agenda is. I'm not exactly in a position to stop him since the Republicans have the Senate and the House. But maybe if I'm willing to work with this man, I might get something out of it for my constituency. Because like Joe Manchin said, he's there to represent, or was there for 15 years to represent, the people of West Virginia. She's supposed to be there to represent the people of Texas. I don't know. Maybe that just sounds ignorant because it's so simple. But it ain't that damn complicated. We make it complicated. Damn, it's frustrating. It really can be.
This is the same coded critique that's been used against black people, especially black women, since forever. It's respectability politics wrapped in his ESPN theatrics. Stephen A. Smith is policing tone on behalf of people who can't stand seeing power in the hands of black women. Thing number 2, Stephen A. Smith has spent years perfecting this exact same brand for ESPN. Always a shitload of smoke for black athletes saying what the white executives who pay him were too scared to say out loud. It's the same energy now, it's the same conditioning, but he's directing it at black politicians now instead of black athletes. He's not a political thinker, he's a weaponized performer. Thing number 3, Stephen A. Smith isn't analyzing power, he's serving it. He's always the loudest voice in the room that never barks at the hand that feeds him, only now the people that are feeding him are the 1% and MAGA. He's been trained to entertain and antagonize, making white audiences feel comfortable with black conflict. The only thing that's changed is who signs the check.
Stephen A. Smith is the Kevin Hart of the sports media. Smith is a plant. Disney and ESPN installed Smith at the top of the sports media world because his inadequacies as a journalist make him easy to control.
He ain't lying.
So Stephen A. Smith caught wind of the backlash, and I would like to highlight his response to that. So let's check out what Stephen A. Smith said on his podcast. Here's that clip right here.
But I felt compelled to come on the air a little bit earlier this week after what I've had to endure this weekend. What I had to endure this weekend were an abundance of people talking a whole lot of stuff about me because they did not like what I had to say about Representative Jasmine Crockett. She is a Democrat out of Texas, Texas's 30th congressional district. Her work, and her verbiage and all of that stuff speaks for itself. And she has become, a big-time public figure in essence, not just as a representative, but speaking out on a plethora of issues involving the current administration and the White House, et cetera, et cetera. And I made some noise last week because I had the temerity, the unmitigated gall, to say this about Representative Crockett when talking about the state of our politics in the midst of a government shutdown, by the way, that has unfolded since October 1st. Brilliant black woman representing over 750,000 people is engaging in verbiage and rhetoric for the streets. And that's fine when you're in the streets. How many of y'all bring the streets to the table when you at the negotiating table trying to get a deal done? How many of you are able to think that for a second that you're able to bring street verbiage to Capitol Hill and that's going to work for you? You literally have senators and congressional figures on Capitol Hill on the side of the Republicans telling the networks, whether it's Fox News, News Nation, or anybody else, please, please, please put her front and center on camera. Why would they do that? Because they know it wins for them.
Okay, so that's Stephen A. Smith responding to the backlash that he has received for calling out Jasmine Crockett over this Jasmine Crockett situation, man. So yeah, guys, that's it for today's video. I would love to hear your thoughts about today's video. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. Catch you guys on the next one, and we out, guys. Peace.